Anywho, so today I was wanting to talk to you guys about my history with Star Wars. Sorry there's no video with this. I'm just going to have a whole bunch of cool art Star Wars pictures in the background. There's no video because I'm driving to work right now and it's cold and it's dark and you can't see me anyways. So my parents told me that they took me to see Star Wars in the movie theaters, episode 4, when I was a month old. And I was a good little boy, and I was mesmerized by it, and all the flashing lights and lightsabers and lasers and everything like that just kept me mesmerized to the screen. So that's where it started. They started off giving me Star Wars figures. My very first one was Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then it went Chewbacca and like C-3PO, and it went from there. And I had them all lined up on my dresser. So I remember Return of the Jedi and Han being in Carbonite, but I don't remember The Empire Strikes Back because I didn't know how he got into Carbonite. And at the time, my theory was always that someone pushed him up against the wall, and that's why his hands were like that. So it wasn't until later that we had all 3 movies on VHS, and I could go back and watch it to figure out what was going on with the second movie. So and then I also had the cards as well. My parents gave them to me. They were the red ones and the blue ones, and they were just, scenes from the movie that I had. I didn't have all of them. So from there, not much happened. I had the storybooks as well. Those are the ones where you either have a tape or a record, and you could follow along in the book. And every time you needed to turn the page, R2-D2 would beep. They weren't done by the original voice actors. They were done by different people, but did have some of the music and stuff like that. So, and I actually still have all those books as well. If you guys ever check out my selfies, you will notice that I've put some of the books in the background. So, a little Easter egg for you. So, I always knew that George Lucas had planned out 9 movies, and that he just did the 4, 5, and 6. And I saw the re-releases of 4, 5, and 6 in the movie theater when I was in college. So that was a lot of fun to see them on the big screen. I'm not a huge fan of the special editions. I always felt like George Lucas should have gone back and fixed some of the goofs and some of the issues, and which he did do. Not a big fan for including like the deleted scenes and putting Jabba and Boba Fett back into the original Star Wars. But hey, it's his movies. He does what he wants. Han shot first. That's part of his character. Don't change that. So right after the re-releases, then they came out with the prequels, and I saw episode 1 on the big screen twice. And at the time, I didn't hate it, but I think I was confused by it, and I told myself that all questions will be answered in 2 and 3. The reason I don't understand it is because I don't have the full picture. I haven't seen the entire thing yet. And I also remember watching episode 1 and then 4, 5, and 6 and be like, wow, 4, 5, and 6 are so much better. Maybe, yeah. Right now, when I go through and watch, I don't watch the prequels too often, but if and when I do, I usually start episode 2 after the city race, because I think that episode 1 was pointless. Darth Maul is awesome, don't get me wrong, but episode 1 is pointless. I think the entire thing about him being a child and him being taken away from his mother and everything like that, I feel like all of that could have just been a 5-minute flashback or part of a nightmare that he had or something like that. And you could have done episode 1, 2, and 3 as a one continuous, have Anakin played by the same actor, all taking place during the Clone Wars, where we all know a lot of bad things happen during wars. But hey, I'm going off on a tangent there. I've already talked about how I thought the prequel should have gone. So let me just move on from that. But yeah, I do enjoy the ending of episode 2. I think that's a lot of fun with the Colosseum and the start of the Clone Wars and Count Dooku. Stuff like that. Episode 3 is also fun. It is enjoyable, but I don't know, just the end of episode 2 I just have more fun with. So after that, I thought that they were done with Star Wars for, I don't know, George Lucas was getting too old, blah blah blah. Once he sold it to Disney, I got excited because I know Disney. If they're going to profit from something, they're going to profit from it. And Star Wars is their moneymaker. So I knew that they were going to come out with more movies, either reboot the entire thing or what. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did. Not only came out with a new sequel trilogy, but also come out with individual standalone movies, one per year. So I got really excited. When I first, I really enjoyed The Force Awakens, and yes, it does line up like hand in hand next to Star Wars, but maybe that's what I loved about it. I don't know. But yeah, I really liked Kylo Ren. I really liked the entire thing. I saw that in the movie theaters, I think twice. When I got the DVD for it, I'm not kidding. I watched it like once per day for like a week. And then after that, it maybe was like once a week for a while. And then it broke off from there. So I don't watch it too often now. So The Last Jedi, I saw that in the theater twice, and I knew after the first time I probably didn't need to see it again, but I didn't want to stop my tradition of seeing the movie in the theater twice. So I saw it in the theater twice. The quality of the movie lines up with The Force Awakens. And so after I got that on DVD, I did watch Force Awakens and Last Jedi hand in hand, and it is like one long continuous movie. However, it does have its issues that I'm not going to discuss here. And I think that Disney, if they're going to make a sequel trilogy, that they have one person design the entire thing, one person direct the entire thing, so that it's one continuous story. The way they did it, I think the Rise of Skywalker suffered because J.J. Abrams had to undo some of the things that Last Jedi did, had to correct some things, had to give, I don't even know the guy's name who directed Last Jedi. Yeah, I don't even know his name, but give him the middle finger in a few of those scenes. So, for that reason, Rise of Skywalker suffered. And that is sad. That is really sad. They could have made a great film. But anywho, so Rogue One is fun. Obviously, spoiler alert from a movie from 5 years ago. Spoiler alert for Rogue One. I knew everyone had to die in that movie because none of those guys show up in Star Wars. So, and then Solo is fun. I had a list of all these things that Solo needed to do, and needed to explain about this and about how he met Calrissian, how he won the Millennium Falcon, and how he met Chewie and the Life Debt and things like that. And so going through Solo, I think it checked off like all of my. It's like, yeah, it did answer all of these questions, but I don't know. With the standalone movies, I think they should have been standalones. Like, you can't have a sequel to Rogue One, and they shouldn't have set up Solo to have a sequel. It needed to end at where it sort of did. Like his next job was going to go to Tatooine. So it lines up perfectly with him going to Tatooine to set up for everything in Star Wars. Maybe I just needed to have the Kira character killed off, so he's not going to go pursuing her or something. Or why bring back Darth Maul? Just things like that. This sort of bothered me about it. And you have Darth Maul, but you don't have anything about him. I think the most action he did in the entire scene was he stood up. So, I don't know. So, I don't know where they're going in the future. I think they're going to do another trilogy, but this time take it 1,000 years in the past. And what better thing to do than to do a trilogy of the Knights of the Old Republic? I don't know anything about it, but I know Star Wars fans absolutely love that time period. So maybe they can have just all new characters, all new everything. And I guess I should explain about The Mandalorian. Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. It's really good. I like all the Easter eggs that they have. And because they have Baby Yoda in it, I have a feeling that this prequel trilogy takes 1,000 years in the past. It's going to end with like the birth of Yoda, because everyone likes Baby Yoda so much. So yeah, that's my history of Star Wars, the good and the bad.